Hello, fabulous Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of May 2014, General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Well, last month I advised you to use your alliances well, connect with new people as a pathway to eventual prosperity. And actually, I do see you carrying that energy into this month and into the beginning of the month. And so if you haven't already been reaching out and reconnecting to people that you know, or figuring out how to gather a bunch of people together, attending different events as well, I would really encourage you to continue to do that as you start the month, because the people that you meet now and some just really surprising connections, as I've been speaking about in the weekly horoscopes as well, some really surprising connections can actually end up being really pathway to prosperity and end up being really a great ticket for you to realize some dreams a little bit further down the road. And so keep that in mind, but make sure you are being yourself and make sure you're being honest, because it is the most genuine and instant connections that are going to end up being the ones that help you the most in the bigger picture of your life. And so that's the energy actually that you're carrying into this month. You're starting the month off with. By the time we get you towards the end of the month, so in the middle of the month, the energy does shift for you a little bit, becomes more romantic, if you will, and I'll be talking about that more in the love horoscope for this month. But what I find really interesting is a couple of things that are taking place right around the middle of the month as well. And that is that Mars, currently in the part of the sky for you that has to do with home, is going to finally be going direct after being retrograde for a while. And so I do think that for a lot of Cancers out there, you are going to find that matters of home, issues of home, sort of get the insight that they need. And if you've been sort of rushing into any kind of decisions, making some kind of choices where it comes to change, I think the full understanding of what that change is going to entail starts to become very clear by the time we get you towards the later part of the month into the second half of the month. So you really want to watch what's taking place right around the middle of the month, because you've got this full moon very harmoniously placed, and it's a very grounded type of energy of this moon. And it does suggest that you are really getting to the heart of the matter, understanding what it is that you really want to feel in terms of aliveness, what it is that you truly need to feel happy, which is very connected to this moon as well, and how that ultimately connects to where it is that you live is going to play an important part in this as well. In the middle of the month, with this full moon taking place in the sign of Scorpio, the ancient ruler of Scorpio being in right now in retrograde, which is Mars being retrograde and beginning to go forward, these issues seem very much connected. And there also seems to be a connection for some of you out there. There may very well be a connection where it comes to children as well. So whether it's where you're going to live in order to be a better experience for your children, where you thought you should be, where now you're starting to realize is a better bet. All of these issues seem to come up where it is relevant for you. For others of you, as I said in the love horoscope, I'll talk about this more, but for others of you, it could very well be that there's sort of an instinctual response to another person that has led you to a situation where now you're looking at where it is you live and how that fits into this love situation and how your attractions have influenced where it is that you live. And now you're going to decide, okay, does this work? Does this not work? How do we want to proceed now, especially in light of our locations, our separate or our joint locations. What I really like about this energy for you, though, is that there is ultimately this focus on the heart. There is ultimately this focus on what is it that you need to be happy. And this is a very important question that actually I do think is one that you're going to need to carry into next month as well. Towards the end of the month, we have a new moon taking place in the sign just before yours. And what that denotes is next month there will be a new moon in your sign. Now, I will be here to talk about it then, but in the later part of June, the new moon in your sign sign is going to launch you into a new year, a personal new year for your life. It is going to launch you in a direction of you starting to see what it is that actually matters to you, what's closest to the heart, and where it is that you most desire to go now. And it'll help you to take steps towards that, take steps in that direction as well. And it is next month that you'll be planting some really valuable seeds that will need a full 6 months to reach fruition. And so use this time well. The first thing that you do to use this time well is get your home situation straightened out. That is going to be the emphasis around the middle of the month, and how that home situation fits into a sense of contentment with yourself, with your life, a sense of happiness, a sense of self-actualization as well. And of course, for some of you, one way this energy may manifest is connecting issues of home with your children as well. And what is it that is best for children, or your children, as the case may be. But towards the end of the month, as the energy shifts and goes inward, now whenever there's a new moon happening in the sign just before yours, it tends to denote a time when it is your dreams that are going to denote what your brave beginnings are going to be just a month later, 28 and a half days later. And so you really want to be paying attention by the time we get to the end of the month, and the energy you'll actually be taking into next month as well has to do with trust. It has to do with knowing that you've done whatever it is that you needed to do, and now it's a time to sort of allow the events of the last period to really sort of ruminate in your psyche, to really allow them to be worked out on a level of energy. And mainly, as I said, the dream space is going to be the space where there's activity, but there's also a lot of wisdom coming forward for you as well. And it is going to be in that space that you come to understand a lot about yourself and a lot about where it is that you desire to go next. Finally, I am going to add the fact that you really want to watch what Mercury is doing as well, because next month Mercury is going to go retrograde right at the early part of the month in your sign. And I do believe that before this month is out, Mercury is going to enter your sign. And this is very much about you making a plan for your future. But whatever it is that you plan, allow it a process. Okay, so the plans very much connected to what it is that's coming up in the dream space. But ultimately, this is about allowing things to come forward and allowing things to resolve themselves, understanding what has served its purpose as you prepare, as you know that you're ready to prepare for a brand new beginning coming up just a little bit further down the road. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.